Hi everyone, I'm Nill and I'm here again to review another movie with you guys, The Intouchables. Before that, I suggest you to watch our other movie reviews and subscribe our channel to not miss our next videos. The Intouchables is a true-based story about a wealthy, disabled Frenchman named Philippe who is looking for a living caregiver, and Dries, an unemployed man who is a candidate for the job opportunity for a caregiver. But he's actually not looking for getting hired, but only he wanted a signature to show he interviewed and got rejected so he can continue receiving his welfare benefits. But the next day they tell him he has been given the job, and this challenge gives both of them an opportunity for development and change. Sometimes you have to enter in other people's world to see and realize what your own world miss. This movie is so wholesome and it's gonna show you everything you have to know, so clear and so perfect. The way they participate and share their differences, which lead them to an emotional growth, especially for Philip and maybe for us. In today's review, I'm gonna give you some of psychoanalysis points of each character and what are those actions named in psychoanalysis. But first of all, if you haven't watched the movie yet, the rest of the video may spoil some content, and okay, you can subscribe our channel and watch the rest of the review and analysis after you watch the movie. Dries and Philip's first meeting was on the interview day. Dries was sitting in a long line and thinking about how he is different from that place and those people educationally, racially, and socially. But we'll see how he connects those differences and creates something new out of it. Dries's courage and audacity was his remarkable points of him on their first visit. Dries entered into Philip's room without any permission and said, "I'm waiting here for 2 hours." He easily telling his desire without giving Philip some fake respect, and he doesn't think he can hurt him with his resistance and discussion. Dries doesn't see Philip as a delicate man, and he believes he can handle and accept those dissenting opinions. Dries discussing with Philip about everything and gets him involved with new games, characters, ability to see himself, express feelings, getting out of his own jail, and actually new reactions. On the other hand, Philip sees Dries's abilities and his creativities, understand his games, and teaching him how to have boundaries. Philip hired Dries experimental for a month, and Dries was remembering his mother's word about him being so irresponsible, and he considered this chance as an opportunity to prove himself. After that, what other people considering as Dries's irresponsibility, Philip understood them as his abilities and unique personality. Philip actually accepts Dries's efforts and trying to prove himself to the society, and this is called acknowledgement in psychoanalysis. We can see signs of homophobia in Dries, especially in 2 scenes. The first one is when he tells Philip his supporter stockings are so feminine, and when Philip compliments him with his earrings, he gets uncomfortable. This defensive mood getting stronger when he realizes he has to clean his feces and see some private parts. Philip needs a full-time care because he's unable to do his personal stuff, and this disability made him lose his confidence in his personality and inner abilities, like having a relationship. And because of that, he separated his emotional world of his own with his logical and intellectual world. Philip has a correspondent relationship with a woman named Eleanor, and he refuses to ask her for her picture because he's afraid of he forced to doing the same, because he doesn't have the confidence to showing himself, and he's scared to lose her because of his disability. The fear of rejection, fear of object loss, and splitting body image are Philip's psychoanalysis state. Driess's auxiliary ego helped Philip to make a stronger connection with Eleanor, and because, despite of that Driess's parents abandoned him, his stepmother's unconditional acceptance made Driess the confidence to express his feelings and make a connection. Driess made Philip to send Eleanor his picture, but he secretly changed the photo of him on a wheelchair with another one on the last moment to not show Eleanor his disability, of course. He fixed a date with her, and he was waiting for her in a cafe with his assistant, and he constantly asking about the time. He got disappointed very soon and took off his hat and get out of the cafe. But at the same time, Eleanor came in without any meeting between them. And the fear of the rejection was so hard for him, and this is why he drank. After that situation, Philip called Driess, of course, the only person who can keep him calm, especially when he's experiencing panics, and he projected his anxiety to Driess. And he got so nervous when the plane shakes. And in psychoanalysis, we call it projection, projective identification, and soothing function. Philip was going on parachuting. What actually made him disabled, of course, to be stubborn with himself, to exchange the feeling of helplessness with the feeling of power. Exactly like the day that accident happened, when his wife was so sick with the feeling that he's more powerful than the world, he was going to parachute in a bad weather. And maybe because of sharing his wife's Alice pain with himself. And now this feeling came alive again when he thought he couldn't get Eleanor, and in psychoanalysis we call it encounter-phobic attitude, omnipotency, and helplessness. Driess tries to find familiar things with these strange ones to make a connection. When Philip wanted to introduce classical music to him, he connects those things with a coffee advertisement or Tom and Jerry cartoon. Driess splits Philip's human identity with his disability. Like he forgets sometimes about his disability, like he doesn't put him in disabled car, and also using nonverbal functions to keeping him calm. What Philip forgetting about because of his extreme rationalization. You know, he upgraded Philip's wheelchair speed, took him to the beach, and added dance and enthusiasm to his boring birthday party. Dries also could control his anger more and more, and you know, he hasn't the ability of this standstill, which is an important function of ego, like he was stealing. And Philip made a super ego for him and could stop him from those deviant actions. Dries's talents flourish alongside Philip, like, you know, Philip recognized his talent as his painting and he helped him sell his painting at a reasonable price. Philip, instead of making himself dependent to Dries, or Dries to himself, let him go to develop himself somewhere else. Dries took Philip on a date with Eleanor without telling him after he was gone, and Philip was so depressed. Dries wanted Philip to grow more emotionally, but with someone new. As I told you, this simple movie is so wholesome and has a lot of meanings in it. This movie also has an American version starring Kevin Hart and Bryan Cranston. And if you guys want me to review this movie too, please comment me below. And if you want me any other movie to review, please tell me. I will read your comments. And please support us with your subscriptions. Thank you for watching, guys. See you around. Goodbye.